So, yeah, this happened. Hey all, Toves here, back playing some more House Flipper. So the requested house in the last video was the house in a thicket, so that is the one we're going to do. And we are not going to mess around, we're going to go straight there. Yes, I want to do that, I want to go see it. So I don't know this house, I haven't looked at it before. And by the looks of it, it's going to be a mess. It looks like it's part of the Garden Flipper DLC as well. So let's have a little quick look around. God, it is a big mess. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a big plot, a bigger plot than any of the houses we've done so far. So a little run around the back here. Dare I peek? Oh, good. We have moles already. So quite a bit of clearing up to do in the back here. Let's go and have a look at the... This is interesting. So it's all boarded up down the sides. Yeah. Yeah. So Teresa, who requested this in the comments, said that it's a difficult layout. So I can see that is a difficult layout straight away, coming in from the side of the building. So we've got a room here. So let's just quickly. I just want to quickly look at. Can you wall these up? Build walls. You could kind of. You could wall it inside that. So that presumably has to be. It's sort of dictating that has to be a sliding door. So what's this? So this is a garage. A garage is big. The garages I'm not a big fan of, to be honest, because you can't replace the door, so you're pretty much restricted to making them a garage. I saw in the live stream the other day that developers did that they're adding some tools in, so there will be more things you can put in the garage. This is so weird. So there's another door here. Can we? So where does that door go? Another little room here. Okay. Yeah. Not really sure. I mean, this is obvious. This is the obvious candidate for a, knock through there. I guess make this all one big room. But then this series of rooms at the back, and you've got, yeah, strange one. Where does this go? Does this go out to the garden? No, it doesn't go out to the garden. So we've got this little module on the back. Alright, so I'm going to give it some thought, and I'll do a clear up and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so blank canvas. So everything's cleared out. I haven't done much with the garden yet, I haven't cut the lawn and stuff, but we're back to a blank canvas. So, I'm thinking probably this little section of wall could definitely come out because it's just an unnecessary extra bit of hallway. I'm wondering if we can move this wall as well. We can move that back one, so we could make just the hallway slightly larger. So I think we maybe do that as well, because at the moment that's just a garage, and that it's a big old garage taking up a lot of this footprint. Sure. And then as I said, the obvious candidate is to take out this wall. And then there's a whole bunch of these little random rooms at the back which I think need to be knocked together. But I think I'll take out this section, and then I'll bring you back and we can see what we're playing with there. So, yeah, this happened. So this happens to me quite often in this game. I sort of end up I think once I get that hammer in my hand, get a bit overexcited. So we've ended up taking out all the walls. Sometimes, I mean, obviously this isn't what you'd really do in a real house flipper situation, but sometimes I just find it easier to see what you're working with and see all the spaces if you don't have any walls there. So we've got this weird little nubbin at the back here. Oh, actually, there's a couple of walls that can go there. I think this one can still go, yeah. Maybe that one. So we've got this weird little nubbin of a room, which is so small, it's almost impossible. And it's got the back door in it. So, oh, there's one more wall that can go there. So you're almost kind of stuck with what that can be. Because we can't move the back door, and because we can't move that window or those windows, this room, I wonder if those can go as well. I don't, no, they just look like they can. You're almost forced to build the whole thing around this, because otherwise this is going to end up being a really odd little room at the back. So you can have that as a bedroom, for example, because you'd never want the back door coming into a bedroom. Too small to make a hallway out of it or anything. It could be like a utility room, or it could be the kitchen. But I felt, so I have, all I've done so far is borrowed a bit of space. As I said, I moved this wall back so you can see that wall there. I've moved that back. I have actually left a door here, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'm not super keen on the, come in the door and there's another door there. I feel like I'd rather have this as a hallway, feeling more like a hallway. I mean, it's always going to be a bit odd because you're doing this kind of right turn in. Obviously, because you get, this is the first view you get as you open the door is to a wall, which is never going to be overly exciting, but it sort of feels like a weird place for a door. So my initial thoughts were I was going to split this space, so have a door going into the garage somewhere here, and that this would come into, that would come into a utility room, and then that in turn would go into a kitchen. So if we did that, we'd be talking about having maybe like an L-shaped kitchen. That could work actually. So use that window as a boundary. Effectively say, coming down here, and then you're turning into like a dog leg. So this would be part of the kitchen, or maybe part of the part of a dining space in the kitchen. But then you'd have garage flowing into utility room, flowing into kitchen, and then this would mean this side probably would have to be up to here. Would then be a living room, but then we're really limited on space for bedrooms. We're talking about a 1-bedroom place then, and this is the only place we can put a bedroom. So this, yeah, I can see why this one is a bit of a challenge, this one. So what I might do is just try and get that kitchen layout worked out. I mean, that potentially would be a really big kitchen though if I did that, like a dog leg there. As I said, you're sort of forced to use, there's a few things that are forcing you to do stuff. Obviously we're always forced by the door positions and the window positions, and you've got, in this one you've pretty much got all of the things that the game throws at you. You've got the garage, so you can't do anything about this because you can't get rid of that. I'd love to be able to get rid of that and brick that wall up or put a window in it. You've also then got these things which you can't brick up. Well, you can, but they won't look right from the outside. Idea on that second. Just bear with me 1 second. So I'm just going to try something. Because I noticed a while ago that you can use the custom pictures to cover up holes. So I'm wondering, because what you don't want, I'm speaking while it's waiting for I'm waiting for my camera roll to roll in. So let's just go with that for a minute. Let's make it really big. So will it let me do this? Let's see. It doesn't look like it's gonna. Maybe if I fiddle around with it for a while. Let's just try it smaller than that. So what I was thinking is the reason why you wouldn't want to brick up this inner edge. So as we said, you can put bricks here, but you can't put bricks in the space because it's clipping into the top of that. So the reason why you wouldn't, the problem you'd have if you did this is obviously on from the outside, that's going to look really ugly. On the outside, you're always going to have this weird, I mean, you can paint that, but it's always going to look a bit odd. Although, maybe you could put a bench in there or something. But what I was thinking was, if you could cover this over, I know you won't be able to cover it over with the panels, the game, like the actual wall panels. But if you cover this over with a picture, let's just see, this will work. Excuse me, because then that'll open up some possibilities. It doesn't look like it's gonna. So you can cover it. So inside, it's not going to work over a door hole. But what you can do is cover over a, see like that, I've covered over the door. But it won't let me put it in the middle. So let's just try that outside a second. For some reason I'm really, really slow with this in my hands. So if we go, yeah, it won't let me put a custom picture on this. Oh, it will let me put it up there. It won't let me put it on this section at all for some reason. Which is strange. But they could be little alcoves. I mean, they could be, if that was blended in. I mean, we're jumping way, way ahead as we're supposed to be working on the garden in this episode. But, yeah, if we were just to do something like, yeah, not this, but will it let me do that? Oh, come on, game. Is this just because there's like stuff here? Let's just get the... Why is it not letting me put that bench down? Ah, yeah, so, I mean, that could be a nice little, like a cute little alcove and look like a feature. I wonder if I can do... what have we got here? We've got like these things, haven't we? They won't go in that hole. See, it's obviously got a weird... This is obviously the point where it goes from inside to outside here. So I'm assuming we won't be able to do anything like put like that in that. No, so that will always have to be inside. It's a real I mean, I don't kind of know why they've done that. Like, they don't need to do that. I mean, I know it's, yeah, it would obviously mean you'd end up with some weird things where people like pave inside, but yeah, it's just the creativity of the game. It'll let you, there's no harm in letting people put outside furniture inside. They let us put inside furniture outside, so why not let us use the things from outside inside? I don't know, because it just would mean you can do stuff like, you know, more floors and things, concrete floors in your kitchen and etc. And it just feels like an unnecessary. It's almost like it's unnecessarily. No, that lets me over. I think that's just because that's overlapping. Interesting. But yeah, it feels like it's sort of an unnecessary level of admin that they didn't really need to do. Because surely it means, yeah, you have to add that restriction. It's not by default inside, or maybe it is. Maybe that's the way that the engine works. Anyway, I'm babbling on. So that, I mean, that is a possibility. So we could choose, if we wanted to close the, like, at least that one in, and then this would make more sense as a bedroom. Yeah, now I think of it, I think we're going to do that. Because then what we've gained back in that bedroom is now we've got a wall to put our bed against. Yeah, that's a nice big wall to put our bed against. Otherwise, it's got to go across the room. Just really restricts the. So the door's got to come from here. So it's always nicer to come into a room and the bed is in front of you rather than running across you, cutting the flow off. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of jiggery pokery with the walls here, and then I probably will bring you back when I've got a bit of a layout. Right, so I think I have a layout. I think I'm happy with this. So this is now the hallway. I I did end up blocking that wall in. I've just put a beam in there just to give it a bit of interest. I was considering a lintel. I may well do that as well. I'm not 100% happy with this hallway, but I think once it's decorated and stuff, it will come together. Potentially that beam just needs to move down a little bit further, because it's a big sort of space where you can't really see anything. And then so this first door, as I said, bricked across that wall. So covering that alcove, so we will use that as an alcove in the garden. This is going to be the only bedroom, so it's not super big, but there's a lot of living space in this house. Straight ahead is going to be a small bathroom. So again, this is small, but the rest of the living space is pretty big. To the right, and these are going to stay open. In fact, I might remove the lintels from that to keep it the same as the other side. So to the right, this is going to be your main living room area. Probably sofa here, although I'm not sure. It's a bit difficult because this is a little bit of a corridor, so you generally try and want to avoid the rooms being a corridor, but we shall see. So that, and then this could actually be a door rather than an opening. So you've got this kind of the bathroom becomes like a little island, weirdly. So you've got a living room here with double doors looking out over the garden, which obviously will be nice. Those trees are going to go. And then this is going to be like a dining space. So again, a little bit odd that there's a door there, but I'm kind of alright with it. And then this is going to be the kitchen. So big old kitchen. I think probably island unit here, just kind of dividing this section off, which we'll probably be doing in a minute. And then a second small bathroom. I just put these in so I could actually see they fit. They do just about fit. The door just about doesn't hit them, which is cool. It would actually be really cool to have some sliding doors in the game that aren't the glass ones, because pocket doors are quite, if you've got such a small space like this to put a bathroom in, a pocket door would actually work really well in there because it could sit back into that wall fine. It's one of those kind of architectural tricks that people do just to kind of get round having small spaces. So we then have, so bear in mind this is the kitchen, so kitchen into utility room into garage. So that, I just think that connection to the garage makes more sense to me than having it in the hallway here. I mean, I could still do that. I could still put a door in just to break it up. I don't know. I'll decide. It doesn't make a lot of difference, to be honest. So yeah, I think we'll probably start. I think the next stage I usually do is I usually white everything out. I paint all the walls white just to get it back to even more of a blank canvas, because when you look at rooms like this at the time, like that visually just kind of looked like it's separated because of the brick on one side and the painted, the old plaster texture on the other side. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I think I'm probably going to do the kitchen and make a start on the kitchen or get some basics done. So back in a bit after the next stage. Okay, so whited out the whole, whitewashed most of it. I've just borrowed, I wanted to bring you back a little bit early just to show you just a little bit of a change that I made to this hallway that now just it's just way better, although maybe this door needs to move, we shall see. There's always a maybe, there's always a little more tweak to do. I feel like maybe if that door was just one step to the left it would be better. But all I did was I did put this doorway in, and so previously we had this column slightly further along to the right. I've just moved it a little bit further to the left just to balance off this edge, and I also took out, so I put the door in, but I also took out another little chunk of the walls, which just borrowed a little bit more space from the garage, which I think is still fine. Like, you could still get a car in there, it's decent size. And what that does, I think, is just brings your eye, because it's wider here, widest point, narrower still, just brings your eye towards the kitchen more. So when you come in the door, I feel like you just kind of get pulled more towards that kitchen, that space in the kitchen. I think we'll leave that doorway for now, and maybe when we do the bathroom we'll work out if that can just hop one to the right. I think that would just help slightly because it feels a bit imbalanced with that. Anyway, so I've put the floors down. I left these two walls brick because I really love this brick, and that's why I've never upgraded my my mason's perk, because you get to keep this brick texture, and the texture in the game that it gives you for brick tiling is different and not as good. So I've always kept that. We've put in the sliding doors. Oh, little jank. We've tiled this. We've floored this out. So I floored this out in the same. This is the new mahogany floor, which I haven't used before. And then I've used this white wood as well. It's not supposed to be in there, but just to kind of make this one room, and I put this grey around the edge. So the challenge in here is going to be obviously just getting a floor plan that makes sense and that isn't going to block off, because if you think about this room, you've got a lot of it's a lot of kind of ways through it now, because you've got to keep this area clear. So I've got to keep a pathway here to get to the utility room. I've got to keep obviously a pathway here. So we're sort of dictated that we need to have a kitchen that goes in that corner. So let's have a look at our options. Spent so many episodes doing weird things that I've sort of it's nice to get back to the basics of the game and the like core mechanics, because some of it's changed since I last did a proper building or a proper room. What's that one like? Let's just see what that looks like floor plan wise. This is one of the ones that's a good one, because it's got like the texture on the back of it is good. So what you don't get if you don't use one of these pieces and you just try and divide the room off with a back of a sink, for example, you can't paint the back of that cupboard, which is a little bit annoying. So you end up with just this weird texture. And also, if you look the splashback, you wouldn't have that splashback as the edge of on an island unit, so you can't really properly make island units out of some of these. None of these pieces work for that in that same sense, because they've got that. Like if you put a bar stool up against that, you just wouldn't have that in house. You'd have a flat worktop. So have they done any more of those? These ones I think are flat. Yeah, so these are fine. These are actually good, because if you look, it goes floor. You've got a kicker board down there on the front that isn't on the back. So these are definitely doable. These could be a unit. These are the more new ones. And then these ones I think are right as well. Yeah. So let's have a little look at our options here. So we've got lots of options in these cupboard units now. I feel like we probably don't really need any more of these in the game, to be honest, because I think there's enough there. Just the fact that they've given you the ability to colour them and stuff is such a big difference now. So nothing. Ooh, they're so big. That feels really tall as well. I don't know if I'm ever going to work out a way to get that into a kitchen. I just can't think of an occasion where you'd ever have it that was your kitchen, that you've got like two sides of an it's like that T shape. I mean, that kind of more like a commercial kitchen. It feels like you'd end up with units on one side, units on the other. I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm ever going to get that, and it's a real shame, because it's actually a really lovely, like the textures and stuff on that are really cool. So what have we got here? So what's that one like on the back? That one's fine. I feel like we want an L shape. That one's not going to work, obviously, because it's got the and I just don't like it, basically. But it's got the cupboards, built-in cupboards. This one I think is always my favourite. What's this one like? See, that could work. That could work. So it would need to be It would need to be like that, I think. Could do it the other way. So I might have to have a little bit of an experiment around with this. So next time you see this, hopefully we've got a kitchen. And if by magic we have a kitchen. So this is kind of pretty nice. I think maybe, just now I'm looking at it. One thing I might change, but it's always my way. So I left the walls white. I may actually make this one a grey. I'm thinking I might make this one grey. I also tweaked the brightness because I noticed that my game was really bright for some reason. So yeah, I think this has come out pretty well. I put the island in. It did work a bit better once I'd kind of put the bar stools in. It kind of felt like it brought it together. Put a rug in. Put a nice picture. I might put a unit there. I'm not sure. See how I feel about that. And then yeah, just kitchen's pretty basic. Just a nice kind of island unit. I reversed the colours on these, so actually these are the same style, but that's the French nut top, and then this is the French nut wood, white and white swapped round. Just to break it up, really, just to give it something different. And then yeah, just decorations and accessories. Loving these new little herb things. I feel like since I've been playing kind of properly, there's the last time I played properly there wasn't quite as many accessories, but because I'm not really counting the Dr. Seuss house and the building stuff that I've been doing as kind of proper playing. But I feel like I'm pretty happy with this. It's come together nicely. I think it's going to flow quite nicely into our dining room, living room space, which is probably what we'll do in the next episode, although I might well go off and do another project. I don't know, not sure. So yeah, do let me know what you think of that, guys. It looks so good sometimes, this game. You sort of forget how pretty it is. Like, they've done such a good job. Like, look at the reflections on that. I don't know what it's actually reflecting, but look at the look at the fact that it reflects. It does actually reflect. It is actually reflecting. That is cool. Excellent work, devs. And then yeah, these sort of little details, really important, just make such a massive difference to the richness of a room. So yeah, my name is Toves. Thank you very much for watching. I shall catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.